Hi, in this video I'm going to be showing you my installation of a 12 volt fuel system and fuel regulator in place of a mechanical lift pump on the 2 1/4 petrol engine and Zenith carburetor setup for a Series Land Rover. I've had a lot of problems with vapor lock and mainly this engine just kind of running out of fuel at the carburetor when towing for long periods slowly. It would just conk out. I'd have to get onto the mechanical lift pump and hit the primer, get some fuel through the filter into the carb bowl to make it run, and it would run for a little period, but as soon as we got back to idling again, it would slowly vapor lock and I'd be out of fuel again. It became intolerable. I've gone through a number of different lift pumps, mechanical ones, and they've basically all failed to be of any use because I do quite a lot of slow towing for many hours. I need a fuel system I can rely on, so I've decided to go for an inline 12 volt electric setup, which is regulated by this. So this is the first thing. This is the Filter King Pro fuel pressure regulator. I've installed it here on the inside the front wing, 2 bolts through. I'm using 8mm fuel hose to the Zenith carb. It came with a little pressure gauge for the purposes of installation up here, and underneath this domed cap and that lock nut is a little adjuster. So when it's all running, you just simply put in your pressure gauge and adjust for the Zenith carb. Zenith carbs operate anything from 1.5 psi up to 2.5. I've set mine to just below 2, and I can always adjust it if I don't think it's getting enough fuel. So that is the fuel regulator setup. I've got the fuel hose coming from here, the usual route over the thermostat housing through down to the distributor, basically down past the old fuel lift pump, and I'll show you where I've put the 12 volt lift pump. So underneath the car, just on the corner of the footwell of the bulkhead, I've put in this FACET electronic 12 volt inline lift pump. Fuel from the tank coming in here to the filter located in the bottom of there, so you've got a pre-filter, and then at the top, fuel hose coming in from the fuel regulator, taking a 12 volt up. Weirdly, it's supplied with a red earth lead, which is a bit misleading, and a black positive. That runs up to the rest of the loom going through into the clocks behind the bulkhead, where I'll show you where I've wired up the switches. For the power supply to the 12 volt fuel pump, I've ran the 12 volt supply off the fuse box. So I've taken a fuse supply off here. That runs off the ignition, so it's not live until the ignition's on. That goes behind the clocks to the toggle switch, with another fuse coming off the toggle switch down to the fuel pump. I've put a 25 amp fuse in line there. And when I first did it, so you turn the ignition on and just hear a little vibration as the fuel pump tickles away and the car starts up straight away. It used to take a while to crank to get started when it was warm. The car is right up to temperature, so normally I've had this idling quite a while. Before this installation, if it was at temperature and I'd switched it off, I'd have to go and prime the mechanical lift pump. Now with the car fully at temperature, it starts first turn the key. And I'd argue runs better than I think it ever has. So yeah, I'd highly recommend the installation. Very simple, and good quality parts as well.